Hello FPL managers and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at my official FPL draft as well as the team I'm going to submit on the FanTeam FPL as well. Now I do have enough money on the account to enter two teams. So the first team I'm hoping that'll be mine, but the second team I wanted to, if there's enough support, create and enter a team with you guys. Kind of have a community team that you guys control, whichever comments and suggestions are the most liked. So in terms of formation, players, tactics, transfers, everything will be up to you guys. But again, that just depends on how interested you guys are doing or want to control that second team. But that's something in the future. I'll see how much you guys are liking these videos so far. And then again, if that is the case, then that second team on FanTeam FPL will be controlled by you. Before we go on to that, let's have a look at my official FPL draft. And as you can see, I am sticking with 5 at the back. Why? Because the first two international breaks, I believe, are game week 4 and game week 8. And they are the popular times when people use their first wildcard. I feel that the price and the value for the points and the experience of the players in the team that I've got right now, I feel it's a safe and secure and arguably a pretty boring way to start the season. I'm not here begging for clean sheets and hoping for 0-0 draws, although that would be great from my side. But you can see I do have attacking defenders like Coleman, DNA, Robertson, Van Dijk and Laporte, fine, but they're solid choices at the back. So I'm sticking with 5 at the back because it also allows me to have a pretty strong attacking, solid 5 midfielders and forwards. If you have a look at Salah, De Bruyne, Zaha, De Bruyne, I know he's a little bit iffy. We're going to check preseason, but if he's fit and if he plays, I still think for 9.5 million, he is an incredible, incredible player. And then up front, Vardy and Wilson, two explosive strikers who, Vardy in terms of being a talisman for Leicester City and earning the points there, he is a huge figure in FPL, very popular right now. And Wilson, of course, even with his price rise, I do feel he's just a much more dangerous option than Wilson. So why, first of all, 5 at the back, like I was talking about. I liked as well now to start the season with players that I can trust, players that have FPL and Premier League experience. Not, do I think this guy is going to bang? Do I think they might start the season well? Do I take a punt? For game week 1, I'd like to have 11 players with 1 or 2 subs that I know will just tick over. The subs can tick over, and the players that I think, yeah, they're going to have a solid start to the season. And for the value, I feel like it's more worth your money to spend 6 to 7 million on a defender, top defender, than 6 to 7 million on a midfielder that might do okay for the first couple of weeks. So if you look at the points from last season, if you look at the top 4 defenders, Robertson, Van Dijk, Alexander-Arnold and Laporte, they kind of average, let's say 200 points. Maybe a little bit like 190 if we're going to be a little bit generous. But if you look at midfielders for that price range between 6 and 7 million, you can see Milivojevic at Crystal Palace 166. People are going to say about penalties and VAR being a little bit more. But actually, that's only, I think, in the Spanish league, it was more penalties with the VAR. But in the Bundesliga, it was actually less. I'll have to double check that. But anyway, Felipe Anderson, I think, will be a good start to the season. But again, 155. Zaha, 143. He was a forward last year. He's a midfielder this year. That might change. Perez, 6.5. He got 141. So I just feel that I'd rather start 5 solid defenders between 6 and 7 million. Or even 5.5 to 7 million who are consistent and attacking and post good stats, then force myself to get a midfielder that might do well for 1 or 2 games. So Felipe Anderson, I think he starts the season at Manchester City, and then the fixtures are easier. I think he's going to be a good start to the season. But I think, or if, or maybe, is he going to have the form at the start of last season when he was absolutely on fire? Or is he going to have that horrible slow start to the season? We don't know. A lot of ifs. But when I compare Felipe Anderson, but I compare him to Robertson, the same price. Robertson, 213 points. Felipe Anderson, 155. For me, it's just a no-brainer to start the season with 5 at the back. I still think 4 at the back is a pretty good shout as well, but those 4 defenders must be, you know, Robertson, Van Dijk, Laporte, Alexander-Arnold. Maybe even, and I did argue for the likes of Azpilicueta, maybe not Alonso because he might lose his place. Again, check pre-season. But that's why I'm going to be starting with 5 at the back. Gives me a completely solid midfield. and forward that I just will go into every game week with this team and think that is a solid 11. And then you can see Kante as my first choice sub. Why? Because he usually plays 90 minutes. Is he going to set the league on fire? No. He's probably going to be more defensive again as that ball-winning, world-class midfielder that he is. But if you look at my 11, they all should start. There's no reason why any of these players will be left out unless they're rotated out for some random reason. If that's the case, I'm happy with Kante and even Dendoncker coming on as a sub just to tick over to make sure I get sort of 2 points for the week. Maybe they'll grab a goal and assist, that would be incredible, but the idea here is I've got a really, really strong 11 that should play sort of 35 out of 38 games if this was a set and forget team, and then Kante and Dendoncker will definitely come on and sort of fill that void. So let me know what you think in the comments below about my draft for this one and my starting 11. Of course, you can see Salah as my captain. I've got Wilson as vice. And again, a crazy notion, maybe captain Wilson. I saw a lot of things about this and I've mentioned it myself before. The idea isn't just to copy everyone else. You need to find points where other people don't get them. So in that first game week, I think in terms of percentage, Salah's probably going to be captained by like 50% of the whole game. If we have a look at Salah's ownership right now, 36.5% own Mo Salah. Of that 36.5%, probably 90% of those people are going to captain Salah. So that the amount of people that are going to be captaining Salah just kind of makes it equals itself out. Whereas how many people are going to be captaining Wilson? Yeah, 23.9% captain own Wilson, but those people might have Salah or Sterling, and they're probably going to captain Salah or Sterling over Wilson. So that's a tactic I'm going to wait till further on in the season when, I want to start the season solid. I had such a terrible start last season that I just really couldn't recover from, and then I had a stupid decision in the middle of the season where I made a lot of changes for a lot of minus points that I shouldn't have made because I wasted my wild card early because I had such a bad start to the season. That I just want to start it with a really strong 11 with 1 or 2 bench players that'll definitely play and tick over. I've also gone for Greenwood as my 4.5 striker because I saw from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer he's promised Greenwood more time. Also, when you look at United strikers, you've got Rashford, you've got Lukaku, and you've got Greenwood. Lukaku, again, looks dead set about going to, I think it's Inter Milan are the front runners right now, but Atletico Madrid might come in for him because they've got a lot of money to spend and a lot of places to fill. But either way, if Lukaku goes, the registered FPL forwards are Rashford and Greenwood, and with Ole already saying he wants to give him more time, I think as a 4.5 million forward, he's not actually a bad shout. So that's it for the official FPL game team draft for now. Of course, I could change to 4 at the back at some point, but I just think right now, of all the drafts I've made and all the variations I've made, this one feels the strongest right now. So moving over to FanTeam, we'll go and we'll find Premier League, and then we'll look at the €25 one, which I mentioned in the previous video, and then click participate. So I have a couple of options that you won't be able to see because the light, you can just about see it now. A couple of draft options that I have considered. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in my 3 ideas for this team because some of the prices are different. A lot of the rules are the same between FanTeam and official FPL, but in terms of prices, some of them are a little bit different. So an example here is, remember I mentioned about impact points. If a player plays 90 minutes, they get +1. So Kante on this game is actually 6 million, not 5 million. You can see, because that's probably because he plays 90 minutes so often and he gets additional points, that he earns more points on FanTeam than he does on official FPL. But something that did catch my eye is Kovacic. They've signed him permanently now. They can't sign any more players. Is he going to play? I don't know. But as a benchman for 5 million, he might be the sort of go-to guy. Or, of course, you can go for Jorginho here for 5 million. So a couple of price differences. A key one that definitely I noticed straight off the bat was Vardy. You can see he's 8.5 million in this game, not 9. So he's 0.5 cheaper in this. Jesus is 8.5 million on this game as well. And a difference here, Zaha is a forward on this one. Matt Ritchie at Newcastle, he's a midfielder on this one. So some of the prices are a little bit different. So I'll put in the squad now and I'll explain my decisions in this one. So this is a draft that I've come up with on FanTeam FPL, and as you can see, it's just a little bit different. So starting off, you can see Fabianski is in goal here. Why? Because again, with the rules that I told you, every single save matters on FanTeam FPL. It's 0.5 points for a save. Instead of on official FPL, it's 1 point for every 3 saves. So if they make 5 saves, that's still only 1 point. Whereas if they make 5 saves on FanTeam FPL, that's 2.5. So why is that important? I've just flicked back over to the official game, and you can see I've organized this by saves. So even though Fabianski is 0.5 million more expensive than Ryan, he is well on top for the amount of saves. So if he can replicate last season's saves as being a shot stopper, then he is going to be far and large a really important FanTeam FPL player. So that's why I'm starting with Fabianski in goal. The thing is, if I do go down to Ryan for Fabianski, or even Alex to Virgil van Dijk, I can change Kante here for 6 million to Perez for 6.5. The only issue that I have with that is Perez really going to get on the pitch? Because if Perez comes on, one of my defenders or forwards is going to come off. Am I going to rest Vardy and Wilson over Perez? No. But then Perez over Coleman? Maybe. Dean? Maybe. Maybe. But it gives me a selection headache in a good way. But I just feel like with Fabianski's save records, that's why I'm going to start the season with Fabianski. But against Manchester City, he should make saves because Manchester City are a really incredible attacking side. So I'm hoping that even as long as they don't get battered like 3-0 or if they can keep the amount of goals that they concede down whilst he makes saves, he'll still have a pretty good game week against Manchester City. I know it's a lot of ifs. I hate that word in FPL, but the idea is he is an incredible, the best shot stopper in terms of stats, the amount of saves that he makes, and on FanTeam FPL, that is incredibly important. You can see I've gone Trent over Van Dijk here because I feel like in this daily fantasy sports version of FPL, I want to attack. I want to go for it. And Van Dijk is the safer option because Trent could get rotated out. But if he gets rotated out, I've got Kante, who should play 90 minutes and get that additional point. So Kante coming off the bench is a little bit better in FanTeam FPL than it is on the official game. But this is the team that I'm currently thinking about entering. Again, Perez is a good backup option to rotate with Coleman or or maybe even Vardy or Wilson, but probably not. I think Vardy and Wilson will always outscore Perez unless Perez has an incredible game week. But that would give me a good selection headache. But again, I added a lot of the points in my... you won't be able to see... you might just be able to see a little bit of it. You can see some numbers here. I added a lot of points from last season and the stats and sort of adding them up, and this is what I feel most comfortable with right now. So I'm going to enter this team. And remember, just like official FPL, if you enter a team, you can change the team as many times as you want until that very first game week. But this is the one that I'm going to go with for now. But again, like I said, the idea that I'm having... Also, you can see Richarlison in here ahead of Sigurdsson. And I've explained this on my top 5 midfielders who I think you should start the season with. I did give an honourable mention to Richarlison because he just starts the season so well. Everton's start to the season, the fixtures are incredible. If he comes out with that explosive power that he usually starts the season with, I'm just going to go for a punt on Richarlison over Sigurdsson for the start of the season. Over a whole season, Sigurdsson is better, but I'll change. If Richarlison starts hot, then I'll keep him. If he starts to drop or he doesn't start hot, I can take him out. He's 8 million. I can drop it to someone lower. I can drop it to Perez and maybe upgrade another sub to give me a bigger selection. There's a whole vast array of opportunities here, but I just feel like starting with Richarlison is a little bit overlooked. He starts it pretty strong. Usually starts his seasons pretty strong, that I'm going to try it out with him. And as you can see, my 2 forwards are the same. I think Vardy and Wilson, I had tinkered around with it where I had Sterling in the side, and I had one up front, so just Vardy up front or just Kane up front, maybe having Kane and Salah. But again, I think I'd rather have 2 good forwards in Vardy and Wilson rather than a great forward in Kane and then having to have an okay midfielder or okay defender that I've got to rotate around. again, I look at this squad and I feel confident that I could start these 11 players with the substitutes every week, and I would feel that I can get points from places. I don't look at anyone in this side and think, oh, you know, Vardy's got Manchester United, or he's got Arsenal, he's got Chelsea. He scores against the big teams. Wilson, Bournemouth, they have a great start to the season. Again, if I need to lower it and improve my midfielder, a midfielder somewhere, or a defender, I can do that. So this is the team that I'm going to enter for now. Before you enter your side as well, you need to select who your captain is. So I am going to stick with it being a little bit safe again on this one. And I'm going to do the same tactic on here as I have for the official FPL game. I'm going to start with Salah as my captain and Wilson as my vice. So click it, you're about to enter tournament, 25 euros, say yes, and then there you go, it's in, and you successfully registered. No thank you, I don't want to enter the 2,625 euro buy-in. Thank you for asking. And then that's it. So this team has been entered now. Like I said, I've still got enough money in the account to create a second side. So if there's a squad that we want to run together as a community, that would be a pretty cool thing to do. And if you ever need to check on the things that you've entered on this website, you just click on My Games or on Dashboard, and it'll tell you which games that you guys are involved in. So that's it for today's video. Hopefully you guys like the drafts. Put your drafts below as well, and I always have a look, and I always try my best to reply to you guys in the comments below. Let me know what you think about my 5 at the back idea. Do you think it's a little bit safe? A lot of people say that it's not good because you can't change you cannot change any of the formations easily, but I disagree. If you don't make a change that first game week, you got 2 free transfers, and with 2 free transfers you could easily change the formation that you want. Again, it's all opinion, it's all what you think is going to be the best tactic for the season. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the 2 drafts that I've created here, one on official FPL, one on FanTeam FPL. Let me know in the comments below your teams, your ideas, your suggestions. I'm always very interested to know what you guys are thinking about FPL. And as always, have a good one.